Welcome back, everybody. I am back after a 2-week quarantine. That was fun. We are here today in Hoisington for the Winter Jam. This is our first game. We'll be playing against Pratt. We'll be playing against Pratt today. Game starts at 5 o'clock. Alrighty, everybody, let's start this game out. We'll start with our starters. Leave. Oh, they're not going yet. Have to wait for a second. Today, Chase will be getting the Cougars. I'll be getting Pratt.
Good afternoon, Hoisington High School. Welcome to the Athletic Center for today's basketball contest between the Pratt Greenbacks and the Otis-Bison Cougars.
You know, I'll just announce it all. Why not?
According to the rules of the Kansas State High School Activities Association, the administration of Hoisington High School appreciates your support of interscholastic athletics. You are reminded this is an educational event and the practice of good sportsmanship is expected of all those involved. Today's officials are Scott Leonard, John Egan, and Ed Moore. And now for the starting lineups.
Alrighty, our starting lineups for the Cougars today will be number 2, Christian Roth. Number 3 for the Pratt will be, boys are down here. 3, Jair Johnson. Number 3 will be for the Cougars, Riley Pauly. Number 10 for Pratt will be Grant Pretty. That's what he said. That doesn't match up with this. Number 10 for the Cougars will be Dalton Regan. Number 11 for Pratt, Matthew Selene. Number 11 for the Cougars will be Easton Juneau. Number 24 for Pratt, Carlson Homey. Number 14 for the Cougars, Peyton Butler. Number 25, Carter Homey for Pratt. I believe that'll be everybody today. The principal for Pratt High School is Steve Blankenship. That's kind of a weird last name. Can't pronounce that one. David Schwag. Tony Heelfrich, I'm going to say, will be their superintendent. Principal for Otis-Bison is Karen Meyer. Athletics director for Otis-Bison is Stan Evie and Dee Bartnick. Superintendent for the high school is Bryn Camphrey. Good luck to both teams. Oh, I forgot the head coach, my bad. Head coach for Otis-Bison will be Curtis Little. Assistant coach Phillips Butler. And then for Pratt, looks like the game's starting. So I'm getting run over. All right, both they line up. Pratt will get the ball first. Number 11, Matthew Slane has the ball. They pass it to number 10, but they pass it in, and then they shoot it up. It is good for 2 points for Pratt.
Dalton Regan throws the ball over to Peyton Butler, making his way down the court. Over to Dalton Regan now. Back over to Easton Juneau. Back to Dalton. Over to Easton, intended for Riley Pauly, but it falls out of bounds against the Greenbacks or Greensburg. Riley Pauly is going to throw the ball over to Dalton Regan. Over to Peyton Butler now. Peyton's going to find his options. Going to throw it over to Riley. Looks like there's a call on the court.
A jump ball.
Peyton Butler will be throwing the ball in over to Dalton Regan. Dalton's going to go for 2 points, and it is no good for the first shot.
Pratt now with the ball at 24 at the closer side of the wing. They pass it to the top of the three-point line. Pass it over to the left. Pass it back around, and they put it up, and it's good. That'll be 3 points for Pratt.
Dalton Regan making his way down the court. Going to throw over to Riley Polly.
Pratt now with the ball again at the close side of the wing. Back down to the corner. They pass it in and up for another 2 points for Pratt.
Dalton Regan having the ball now, bringing it back down the court. Trying to find his options, it looks like. Over to Peyton now. Payne's going to throw the ball over to Easton. Easton now trying to find his options. Going to play some fancy footwork, bringing it over to Dalton Regan. Dalton's going inside to the inner part of the court. Going to go for 2 points. It is no good.
Pratt now with the ball, passing it clear down the court to the far wing. They try to get it, but it slips off the tips of number 25's fingers, which is Carter Homey, and out of bounds. Otis-Bison now with the ball.
Bringing it, Dalton Regan making his way down the court. Over to Riley Polly now. Riley is going to try to find his options, throwing it over to Easton Juneau, going in for 2 points, and it is good for a Cougars 2 point.
Pratt now running the ball down the court to the close wing. They dribble it in under the basket and put it up for 2 for Otis-Bison.
Dalton Regan with the ball now, bringing it back down the court, throwing it over to Peyton. Peyton's going to go to the intersection of the court, try to go for 2 points, but it's no good.
Not Otis-Bison. Pratt now with the ball. They dribble it down the court, down the center of it. They put it up, no good. Out to the far corner. They pass it out again, put it up again, no good. Otis-Bison now with the ball.
Dalton making his way over to the Cougars side, trying to find his options. Going to throw it over to Peyton Butler. Ball intended for Easton Juneau, but it looks like the Pratt steals it.
They dribble it down the court and put it up for another 2 points for Pratt.
Dalton bringing the ball back down the court. Try over to the Cougars side.
Timeout called on Cougars. With 4:29 left in the first quarter, Pratt 11, Cougars 2.
Looks like both teams return to the court. Ball will remain with the Cougars.
At the sideline.
Peyton Butler will be throwing the ball in over to Riley Polly, making his way back to the Cougars side. Over to Peyton Butler now. Peyton's going to try to find his options. Call on the court. Looks like Peyton Butler will be throwing the ball in to Dalton Regan. Going to go in for 2 points. It is good for a Cougars 2 point.
Pratt now with the ball, dribbling it down the center of the court. They pass it to the far wing, up to the top of the 3-point line. They pass it over to the close corner of the wing. They put it up, no good.
Dalton Regan now with the ball, bringing it back down the court. Trying to find his options, throwing it over to Peyton Butler, going in for 3 points, it looks like. And it is good for the 3 points.
Pratt now with the ball at the baseline, dribbling it to the closer side of the court. They pass it around a little bit. Number 25 now with the ball. He dribbles it under the basket, puts it up for 2 points for Pratt.
Dalton Regan with the ball again, bringing it back down the court. Looks like he's trying to find his options. Ball is almost stolen, but he throws it over to Peyton Butler. Looks like there's a call on the court. Well, looks like number 3 for the Greenbacks was caught holding, or caught blocking. Peyton Butler will be throwing the ball in over to Dalton Regan. Dalton's going to try to find his options. Throwing it back over to Peyton Butler now. Ball is intended for Easton Juneau, but Peyton keeps the ball. Trying to put it in the basket for 2 points, but it's no good.
Pratt just does the layup and gets it in.
Dalton Regan with the ball now, bringing it down the court. Trying to find his options. Over to Hayden Morrison now. Hayden's going to intend to throw it over to
Pratt.
Christian.
Pratt gets the ball. They run up to the basket, and it is another 2 points for Pratt.
Dalton Regan with the ball, bringing it back down the court. Looks like he's going to try to find his options. Over to Peyton Butler now. Peyton's going to throw the ball over to Christian Roth. Oh, ball intended for Dalton Regan, but it falls out of bounds.
Pratt will get the ball at that time on the sideline. The far sideline, I should say. They pass it to number 11. Dribbles the ball down the center of the court, then over to the close wing. They pass it into a guy under the basket. They put up no good. 23 ends up with a rebound. Now 11 passes it to 11 with the ball at the corner. Dribbles it up to the wing. Passes it around to the other wing. Back to the far wing. They dribble it under the basket. They put it up, and it's good. For another 2 points for Otis-Bison.
Dalton Regan with the ball now. Making his way down the court. Looks like he's going to try to find his options. He's going to throw the ball over to Peyton Butler. Peyton's going to throw it back to Dalton Regan, going in for 2 points, which is good.
Pratt now with the ball. They're dribbling it down the far side of the court. They pass it to the far corner. They dribble it in. They pass it around. Put up, no good. And 14 for Otis-Bison will be the rebounder.
Peyton throwing the ball over to Jake Hoopengardner. Jake's going to try to find his options, throwing it over to Riley Pauley. Riley now going to bring it into the court, but it looks like there's a call.
Low post, Chase.
Ball is thrown in to Dalton Regan. Dalton's going to try to find his options. Going to throw it over to Peyton Butler. Peyton's going to go in for 3 points. It is good for 3 points for the Cougars.
Pratt now with the ball up at the center. Pass it down to the far wing. They pass it around. They get it to under the basket, and Otis-Bison gets the rebound.
Peyton Butler bringing it back down the court. Looks like he's going to try to find his options. Over to Jake Hoopengardner, going in for 3 points, which is good.
Now Pratt with the ball. I got it. With dribbling it down the center of the court. They put it up. 3, no good. Otis-Bison now with the ball.
Logan Meyer rebounding it, throwing it over to Peyton Butler now, bringing it back down the court. Looks like he's trying to find his options. Ball thrown over to Dalton Regan. Looks like Dalton's going to try to put the ball in the basket, which is good for 2 points.
That'll be the end of the first quarter. Pratt 19, Cougars 17.
Looks like both teams return to the court.
And ball at the closer side of the court. Dribbling it now to the center. Pass it to a guy on the top of the key. Pass it back out to the guy towards the close wing. Pass it back to a guy under the basket, and they put it up for another 2 points for Greensburg.
Hey, Dalton Regan making his way back down the court to the Cougar side, trying to find his options.
Not Greensburg. Pratt finds the ball and runs down for a layup. That'll be 2 points for Pratt.
Dalton Regan now having the ball, bringing it back down the court once more, trying to find his options.
And there's a foul called. Pratt now with the ball. Number 25 for Pratt will be at the sideline. Carter Home. They pass it to number 11, and he dribbles it down the court to in the center. Passes it to a guy to the far wing. Passes it back to number 11. 11 passes it to number 24 at the close wing. He dribbles it in. He's met by a Cougar defense. He passes it to another teammate, and they put it up for another 2 points for Pratt.
Dalton Regan making his way now back down the court, throwing it over to Riley Pauley. Riley's going to try to find his options, but he was caught traveling, it looks like.
Pratt now with the ball, dribbling it down the court. He passes it to a guy at the top of the key. Passes it down to the corner. They pass it to a guy under the basket. He tries to put it up, but it's no good. They pass it back out, and a travel call, I believe, is what was put on Pratt. Otis-Bison now with the ball.
Ball thrown in over to Dalton Regan. Back to Peyton now, making his way back down the court. Payton's going to try to find his options. Throwing it over to Riley Pauley. Riley's going to now, ball bounces off his shoe, but it goes over to Dalton Regan. Dalton's going to throw the ball over to Peyton Butler now. He looks like he's going to bring the ball to the intersection of the court. Call on the court, though. Looks like number 5 for the Greenbacks was caught kneeing. Ball thrown in over to Dalton Regan. Dalton's going to find his options. Throwing it over to Peyton Butler, going in for 3 points. It is no good.
Pratt ends up with the ball, and they dribble it down the closer side of the court. Now at the far wing, put it down to the far corner. They dribble it up to the post, the closer post, I should say. Low post, my bad.
Dalton Regan with the ball now, throwing it over to Riley Pauley. Riley trying to find his options, throwing it, intended for Dalton Regan, but is stolen.
Now Pratt with the ball. They dribble it down the court at a ferocious speed. They pass it and to a person at the low post, and he puts it up for another 2 points for Pratt. A timeout is called for Otis-Bison. 4 minutes and 53 seconds left in the second quarter. 27 for Pratt. 19, Otis-Bison.
Looks like both looks like both teams return to the court, and the ball is thrown over to Dalton Regan. Dalton's going to bring the ball over to Jake Hooper-Gardner. Back to Dalton. Ball was intended for Easton Juneau, but it falls out of bounds. Again, ball will remain with the Cougars.
At the baseline.
Jake will be throwing the ball in over to Easton. Now over to Dalton Regan now. Over to Jake once more, going in for 3 points. Just barely misses.
Pratt now with the ball, dribbling it and passing it down to the close corner. Back up to the top of the key, to the left wing. In a little bit of trouble, passes it back out. Now at the close wing, at the low post, he tries to put it up. It is good. It bounces off the backboard and in for 2 points for Pratt.
Dalton Regan with the ball now, bringing it back down the court. Looks like he's trying to find his options. Ball thrown over to Jake Hooper-Gardner. Back over to Dalton Regan. Looks like there's a call on the court. I believe the call was against number 3. J.R. Johnson was caught holding. Jake Hooper-Gardner will be throwing the ball in over to Peyton. Now over to Easton. Back to Jake, going in for 3 points. Just barely missing.
Pratt now with the ball at the close wing. They pass it out a little bit. Now at the top of the key. Pass it to the far corner. He puts it up for 3, no good. Bounces off the front of the rim and out. And Otis-Bison gets the rebound.
Peyton Butler throws the ball over to Easton Juneau. Trying to find his options. Going to try to put the ball in the basket for 2 points, but it's no good. Christian Roth with the rebound, putting the ball in the basket, which is good.
Pratt now with the ball at the close wing. Now at the top of the key. He dribbles it in to the low post. He puts it up, and it's good for another 2 points for Pratt.
Peyton Butler with the ball now, bringing it back down the court. Trying to find his options. Ball intended for Logan Meyer, but is stolen by the Greenbacks.
Pratt now with the ball. They run down the court. They dribble down the court. They try to put it up, and it's rebounded by Otis-Bison. No good.
Peyton Butler throws the ball over to Jake Hooper-Gardner, trying to find his options. Back over to Peyton, going in for 3 points. And it looks like he just barely misses.
Pratt now with the ball. Call, travel. Okay, I'm going to try and pull up the fouls. Otis-Bison now has the ball.
Peyton Butler will be throwing the ball in over to Riley Pauley, making his way back down the court. Ball thrown over to Dalton Regan. Ball sending it back over to Riley Pauley. Riley is going to throw it back over to Dalton. Dalton's going to try to find his options, throwing it over to Christian Roth. Tries putting the ball in the basket for 2 points, but it's no good.
Pratt now with the ball at the close wing. They dribble it in to the low post and up for 2 points for Pratt.
Dalton Regan with the ball now, bringing it back down the court to the Cougar side. Ball thrown over to Riley Pauley. Riley's going to try to put the ball in the basket for 2 points, but is no good.
Taking in for the Greenbacks, number 24, Carson Beacon. Number 25, Carter Beacon.
Otis-Bison now has the ball at the baseline. Number 14 for the Cougars will have it.
Peyton Butler will be throwing the ball over to Dalton Regan. Regan's going to throw the ball over to Peyton Butler now, going in for 3 points. Just barely misses. Looks like the ball falls out of bounds against the Greenbacks. Ball will remain with the Cougars. Ball thrown in to Dalton Regan. Looks like Dalton's going to throw the ball back over to Peyton. But it looks like Peyton Butler was caught traveling.
Pratt now with the ball at the Otis-Bison baseline. They dribble the ball back down the court on the far side. Now at the top of the key. Passes to a person over on the left wing. Passes it back. Now back down into the pocket. Passes it to a low post. They pass it over to the far wing. He puts it up for three and swishes in for 3 points for Pratt.
Dalton Regan with the ball now, bringing it back down the court.
48 seconds left in the half.
Looks like Dalton's going to throw the ball over to Peyton Butler now. Looks like Peyton's going to try to put the ball in the basket for 2 points, which is good.
Pratt now with the ball, dribbling it back down to the court. Put an aggressive pass, bounces off an Otis-Bison player, and the whistle is blown for Otis-Bison to get the ball. 31 seconds left in the half. Pratt, 36. Otis-Bison, 23.
Looks like Peyton Butler will be throwing the ball in over to Dalton Regan, making his way down the court. Looks like Dalton's going to try to find his option, throwing it over to Jake Hoopa-Gardner. Jake's going to try to throw the ball over to Christian Roth, but it just slips out of his hands and falls out of bounds. Turn over to the Greenbacks.
Number 28 will have the ball at the baseline. They pass it in to number 11. 18 seconds left in the half. Pratt now with the ball at the top of the key. Passes it to the far wing, back to the top. Close wing, low passes into the low post, tries to put it up, and it's good. It bounces off the rim and in.
Dalton Regan receiving the ball from Peyton Butler. That is the alarm.
The half of the game. Pratt will be at 38, Cougars 23. Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back to the second half of the game. Otis-Bison will be at 23. Pratt, 38.
Looks like the Greenbacks return to the court. Get ready for the third quarter.
Otis-Bison still planning out what they will be doing. I wonder if I... Alrighty, Otis-Bison starts with the ball. Number 14, Riley Pauly. No, my bad. Will be dribbling it in. They pass it to number 11 on the left wing. They pass to a guy at the low post. He puts it up for two and good.
Number 11, Matthew, having the ball, throwing it over to Carter, trying to put the ball in the basket, which is good for 2 points.
Otis-Bison now with the ball, dribbling it down the center of the court. He dribbles it to the close wing, back down to the closer pocket. Official call, blocking. Otis-Bison will have the ball at the baseline. Number 14, Peyton Butler, will be there. He passes it in to number 10 at the top of the key. He passes it to a guy at the close wing. Now to a guy at the low post, and he puts it up for two for Otis-Bison.
Carter throws the ball over to Matthew, making his way down the court, throwing it back over to Carter. Now over to Grant, going over to Matthew once again. Over to Jair. Now over to Carson, going in for 2 points. Looks like it's no good.
And Otis-Bison gets the rebound. They huck the ball down the court to number 11 at the low post. He tries to put it up, but is blocked by number 25 on Pratt's team and bounces out of the bounds. Otis-Bison will have the ball back again at the baseline. They pass it in to a guy in the close corner. Now up to a guy to number 10 at the top of the key. They dribble it around a little bit, and Pratt ends up with the ball.
Ball thrown over to Aiden, putting the ball in the basket, which is good for 2 points, it looks like.
And a penalty is called.
Looks like the points are no good, I believe. Aiden will be putting the ball up, and the first shot is good for a Greenback point. Ball is up again, and the second shot is good for another Greenback point.
Otis-Bison now with the ball, dribbling it down the closer side of the court. Now up to the top of the key, doing a little bit of fancy footwork, passes it to number 10 at the far corner. He dribbles it in and puts it up for two for Otis-Bison.
Matthew now having the ball, throwing it over, intended for Carter.
Otis-Bison gets the ball then, and they dribble it down to the low post, tries to put it up, but is intercepted and no good.
Matthew receiving the ball from Jaher, but is knocked out of bounds.
No, Otis-Bison now gets with the ball at the close wing. Dribbling around to the close pocket. In a little bit of trouble. He ends up passing it to number 14 at the top of the key. He's dribbling it around to the close wing, passing it to Riley Pauly, the far wing. He dribbles it, tries to go for the low post, and it looks like he got smacked a little bit. Pratt gets the ball at the baseline.
Number 5, Peyton, will be throwing the ball over to Jaher again, making his way back down the court. Over to Dylan. Now over to Peyton again, throwing it over to Carter, going in for 2 points, which is good.
Bison now with the ball. Number 10 will be dribbling it down the center of the court. He passes it to number 3 at the close wing. Now to number 10 in the pocket, close pocket. He tries to dribble it into the low post, but number 25 on Pratt gets the ball.
Carter's going to try to put the ball in the basket, but is no good. Looks like Aiden rebounds the ball and is trying to put the ball in the basket for 3 points. Also no good, but Peyton rebounds it as well and tries to put it in the basket now, but is also no good.
Foul is called, and number 14 hit the ground pretty hard. He gets up, and he is good, though. Pratt will have the ball at the baseline.
Looks like Jaher will be throwing the ball over to Carter. Looks like he's going to hand the ball over to Peyton. Now over to Dylan. Now over to Aiden once more. Throwing back over to Jaher. He's going to go in for 2 points, and it is good.
Otis-Bison now with the ball at the baseline and passes it into number 10. He dribbles it down the closer side of the court. Otis-Bison now with the ball at the far wing, passes it to number 14 at the close wing. Now at the top of the key, over to the close wing, intended for number 3, but he doesn't get the ball and it goes out of bounds. Pratt now with the ball.
Looks like Dylan will be throwing the ball in over to Matthew, making his way back down the court. Back over to Dylan. Now over to Aiden. Over to Carson now. Oh, back over to Dylan. Back to Aiden once more. Back over to Dylan. Looks like Dylan's going to throw it to Matthew. Back to Aiden. Looks like he's trying to find his options. He intends to throw it over to Matthew, going in for 3 points, which is good.
Number 11 for Otis-Bison has it on the baseline. He passes it to number 10, who dribbles the ball down the center. Timeout. Otis-Bison, I believe. Full timeout. Pratt will be at 49, Cougars 27 with 3:29 left in the third quarter. I want to say a thank you to our cheerleaders today. Unfortunately, I don't have a list, so I can't name them all. And I want to say a thank you for all our fans coming out here and cheering along the Otis-Bison Cougars.
Looks like both teams return to the court. The ball will remain with the Cougars.
They have it on the sidelines. Number 15 passes it into number 10. He's at the half court dribbling in to. He dribbles it into the key, but Pratt gets the ball out of his hands.
Aiden's going to try to put the ball in the basket for 2 points, which is good.
Otis-Bison will have the ball then. Number 10 dribbling it back down the court up to the top of the key. Now over to the far wing. Passes it over to the close wing. He dribbles it down into the corner. Tries to pass it in, and Pratt gets the ball.
Looks like Carson's going to throw it over to Matthew, going in for 2 points, which looks like it's good. It looks like Matthew will have the opportunity to get another point for his team. Ball is up, and the shot is good for another point for the Greenbacks.
Otis-Bison now with the ball dribbling it down the court. Dribbles it to the close wing, down into the pocket, passes it back to the close wing. He puts it up to the high post. No good. Otis-Bison gets the ball again, now at the close wing. Passes it to a guy to number 11 at the low post. They put it up. They rebound the ball a couple times and trying to get in, no good. Pass it to the far corner. He puts it up, no good.
Aiden's going to throw the ball over to Carson, going in for 2 points and just barely missing.
Otis-Bison gets the rebound, dribbling it now back down the court at the top of the key. Passes it to a guy in the pocket. Now passes it to the far wing, dribbles it up to the key, passes it off. Now at the far wing, tries to dribble the ball. Pratt gets the ball, but a whistle is blown, and it is a travel. Otis-Bison will get the ball again. Number 14 with the ball at the sideline. Otis-Bison now with the ball at the far wing. Dribbles it into the low post, puts it up, no good. Pratt gets the rebound.
Carter with the ball now. Going to throw it over to Matthew, making his way back down the court. Going to go in for 3 points, and it goes in.
Number 14 now with the ball at the baseline. He passes it to number 1, who dribbles it down the closer side of the court. Now at the close wing, dribbles it up to the top of the key, tries to pass it to a guy at the far wing, and is intercepted by Pratt. He does a layup, and it is good. Otis-Bison now with the ball at the baseline. They pass it in again. Minute 10 left in the third quarter. Otis-Bison now with the ball at the close wing. He dribbles it up to the top of the key. Tries to dribble it in, but is met up by the defense. A call is on 24. I don't know what it was, but number 1, Jake Hugengartner puts up his first free throw. It bounces off the front of the rim and is no good. Jake dribbles the ball, shoots up his second free throw, and goes straight through the net for a point for Otis-Bison. Otis-Bison now at 28. Pratt 59.
Looks like Carter will be throwing the ball over to Jaher, making his way down the court. Jaher is going to throw it back to Carter. Carter's going to throw it over to Peyton, going in for 3 points, and it is good.
Otis-Bison now with the ball again. Number 14 will be with the ball at the far side of the court. Now passes it to number 10 at the far wing. He's in a little bit of trouble. Passes it to number 3 at the top of the key. He tries to dribble it. He dribbles it down to the low post. Tries to put up, no good. Pratt gets the ball.
Looks like Carter is going to bring the ball over to the basket, trying to put it in for 2 points, but it's no good.
Otis-Bison gets the rebound and now has the ball at the top, or in the middle of the court. Now dribbles it down to the far wing, down to the low post, puts it up, no good. Rebounds again, no good. And that will be the end of the third quarter. Pratt, my bad, will be at 62. Otis-Bison 28.
Looks like both teams return to the court, and the ball will go to the Greenbacks. Carson will be throwing the ball over to Matthew. making his way back to the greenback side. Over to Jaher now. Over to Carter going in. Over to Peyton now. Looks like he was going to put the ball in the basket for 2 points, but is no good. Falls out of bounds against the Cougars. The ball will remain with the greenbacks.
At the baseline.
Ball's thrown in over to Carter, going in for 2, which he puts the ball in the basket for 2 points, which is good.
Otis-Bison now with the ball, dribbling it down the court to the closer side of the court. They pass it to number 15 in the corner. The penalty is called. I don't know what that was. It's not on my cheat sheet. So Otis-Bison gets the ball again. However, he tries to put it up. It bounces off the back of the scoreboard. Not scoreboard, rim, and no good.
Matthew having the ball, bringing it back down the court, throwing it over to Jaher now. Going to throw it over to Carter. Carter's going to throw it back to Matthew again, going in for 3 points, and it is good.
Otis-Bison now with the ball, dribbling it back down the closer side of the court to the close wing. Now to the low post. Tries to put it up, no good.
Matthew now having the ball, bringing it back down the court, throwing it over to Carter, putting it back in the basket, which is good for another 2 points.
Otis-Bison now with the ball at the close side of the court again. Passes it down to number 11 at the corner. He tries to put it up, bounces off the rim though, and Pratt gets the rebound.
Jaher now having the ball, throwing it over to Carter, going to put the ball in the basket, which is good for another 2 points.
Otis-Bison with the ball. Dribbling down the closer side of the court, passing it back to the farther side. Now at the far corner, dribbles it back to the wing, and they pass it back to number 3. Passing around, they get it to the closer corner. Tried to get it to number 21 at the low post. No good. Ball is out of bounds on Pratt. Number 1 will have the ball at the baseline. Number 11 now has the ball. Pass it to number 1 at the corner. He tries to put up, no good. Pratt gets the rebound.
Ball is thrown over to Max. Now over to Grant, putting the ball in the basket, which is good for 3 points.
Otis-Bison now gets the ball. They dribble it down to the closer wing. Back down to the closer pocket. Over to the wing, up to the top of the key. Back to the closer wing. Up to the top of the key again. They pass to number 11 in the corner. He puts it up. No good. Number 29 now with the ball. Pratt.
Aiden's going to try to put the ball in the basket, which is for 2 points, but is no good. But looks like he will have the opportunity to get a point or 2 for his team. Ball is up. The first shot is good for a greenback point. Ball is up. The second shot is good for another point.
Otis-Bison now with the ball. Dribbling it down the closer side of the court. Passing it around. Ends up at the far corner. They pass it to the close corner again to number 15. He goes to the low post. Tries to put it up, no good.
Looks like Drew having the ball, bringing it back down the court. Going to put it in the basket for 2 points, but is no good. Now Justice with the ball. But the Cougars steal it.
Number 1 for the Cougars will have it. Passes it to number 3 at the corner. He goes to the low post. Tries to put it up, no good. Number 3, Riley Pauley, will have some 3 throws. He puts up his first 3 throw, and it goes in for another point for Otis-Bison. Otis-Bison now at 29. Pratt, 76. Riley goes in for a second 3 throw. Ball is up. Bounces off the back of the board, and no good. Pratt now with the ball, number 10, will have it at the baseline.
Looks like Grant will be throwing the ball over to Aiden, making their way back down the court. Looks like Aiden's going to throw the ball in over to Drew. Now over to Justice. Now back over to Dylan. Dylan's going to throw it over to Aiden. Looks like he's going to try to find his options. He's going to throw it over to Grant. Looks like he's going to try to go for 2 points, but it's no good.
Jump ball is called. Otis-Bison will get it. 15 now at the baseline, passes it to number 1. Number 1 dribbles the ball down the center of the court. Now at the top of the key, passes it to number 15 at the close wing. He tries to pass it to number 5. Bounces off number 25 for Pratt's hands. Cougars recover it though. Ball now at the far wing. Tries to dribble it into the low post. The ball almost goes out of bounds, or off the court, my bad. But Otis-Bison saves it. Otis-Bison now with the ball at the close corner. They put it up, no good. Number 4 gets the rebound for Otis-Bison. He passes it to number 1 at far wing. They try to put up, no good.
Aiden bringing the ball back down the court with lightning speed, putting it in the basket, which is good for 2 points.
Otis-Bison now with the ball again. Now at the close wing, number 1 passes it to number 5 at the high post. Tries to put up, no good, and Pratt gets the ball again.
Ball thrown over to Drew. Drew's trying to find his options, throwing it over to Justice, now over to Aiden. Aiden's going to throw it over to Justice again. Back over to Aiden, going in for 3 points, but it's no good.
Struggle for the ball. Whistle is blown. And Pratt gets the ball.
Ball's thrown in over to Aiden. Looks like he's going to make his way back down the court.
36 seconds left in the match.
Ball's thrown over to Dylan. Now over to Drew. Back over to Dylan.
25 seconds.
Over to Grant. Over to Aiden now.
20 seconds left.
Aiden's going to throw back over to Grant. Over to Dylan. Back to Aiden once more.
10-second mark.
Back over to Dylan. Looks like he's going to find his options. Looks like he may just hold the ball, but looks like he hands it over to Aiden.
And 3, 2, and 1. And that's the ball game. Cougars will end up with a score of 29. Pratt 78. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We shall see you later.
Ladies and gentlemen, there will not be a stream from our broadcast, so if you want to tune in, go over to the Hoisington broadcast. That is all for today.